You could fight an orangutan at a fair. They would have an orangutan just sitting in a boxing ring, and guys would pay to fight it. And I say guys because I just can't imagine one woman ever fought this orangutan. I think you could put an orangutan in a room with 1,000 women. And when they walked out, they're like, did anybody fight it? Like, it never crossed their mind to fight it. Put 3 men in that room. 2 of those men will fight that orangutan. The other one would have started it going, I think y'all should fight that orangutan. Doing those drive-in shows were fun. They were, you're at a drive-in movie theater. What's hard is when people want to leave early. If they don't like your act, you just see headlights hit you in the face. And he's just like, and just guy backs up. And you're like, all right, there goes that guy. I did one Zoom show, and it was just, it's just your face on it. And right before we get started, I just hear someone say, I don't know, it's some stupid comedy thing. And it's just, what's that? What'd she say? Just helicopters all day. That's an outside show. The next special is LAX. It's going to be a good time. I used so much ketchup once at a restaurant that a stranger walked up and goes, that's a lot of ketchup. Do you know how much ketchup you got to use? That guy doesn't want to get involved, But he sees it. His wife's like, let it go. He's like, I think I got to say something. I don't think he knows that no one's using that much ketchup. It's great having it. I've been married for 7 years, and so now we just have a 1-year-old daughter, so it's getting pretty serious. And this is way over the edge. We were living in New York when my daughter was to be born, but I'm from Tennessee, so we flew home, and my daughter was born in Tennessee. I didn't want her to be born in New York. I don't need her growing up thinking she's baby. So I was like, you start where we start, all right? That. It was wild. Does anybody have kids here? Or a couple? One? The rest is like when this city dies. All right. It's wild. I remember on the way to the hospital, I told my wife, I was like, look, I don't want to see anything, all right? It's going to be gross. I wish it was like the 50s when they didn't even let men in the hospital. But it's not. Now, do you want to deliver the baby? We'll do most of it. They just pull the baby out, and then they just tell you, they're here, cut the umbilical cord. They just tell you to do it real fast. I didn't take a class. They just act like I'm the guy that cuts umbilical cords at the hospital. I almost cut the wrong part, and they were like, that's not. I was like, oh, maybe, you should. You did go to doctor school for this. I'm doing minor surgery right now. And then they just hand you your baby, and they're like, all right, we'll see ya. And that's when you're like, I'd really like your help now. I need you to live with me or something like that. The first question I asked, they should have probably kept, I was like, how much do you feed it? That'd be a lot. I was buying a hamster at a pet store. The big thing they tell you, the thing they say, they're really big on they're like, whatever you do, let's just try not to shake this baby. That's the number one goal. And they tell it to you, they're almost obviously you're going to want to shake baby, but it would be so awesome if you just did not shake this baby. That would be. And then they get a video of a guy that's here's what I do instead of my baby. I take walks, for instance. I walk 70 miles or something. I walk a lot. Then I signed a certificate I was in kindergarten that said, all right, I promise, I swear to God, I won't shake the baby. Asking me, about this. I've never heard the word shake so much in my entire life. That's all it's about. And the first night home, she was like, you're like delirious. You're just confused and tired, and like, and she ran for like 6 hours. And I was like sitting there, I was like, wait, are we supposed to shake this? Like, when we do it, this seems like when you would do it. But we didn't, we didn't shake her. So cool. We have rocked aggressively, but she had to go. We went to the doctor to get when she was 9 months old. You have to do like a 9-month-old checkup. So we go to the doctor, and she has to get a shot. And it's like the worst when babies get shots because they don't know what's going on. Like, she's just looking it up like, this day's going unbelievable. Like, what could go wrong? What could go wrong? Why would anything go wrong? And then you're looking at her like it's about to go wrong. You don't even sort of think how wrong it's going to be. So she gets the shot. So we go to her, because we're going to hold her and console her. But she doesn't. She's just fine with the shot. And we're just sitting there like the doctor's surprised. Like, my wife's like, I was like, maybe we should also see if she's going to be a when they get a shot. Maybe that's what we should look into. That if you're nervous, I would cry if you gave me a shot. Pretty fine with pain at 9 months old. Like, in 20 years, I'm either going to be telling her, like, look, we love you so much, and we're happy that you've accomplished everything. Or I will be on the news going, we love it, but you need to turn yourself in right now. Just do the right. I think I was buying a tree. I don't really know. But I tried to give him cash, and he was like, oh, you got to do a credit card. I was like, okay. So I give random iPad, all my family information. It was $75. So he's like swipes the card, and then after it goes through, just so you know, it's a monthly charge. Yeah. He told me after. And he was like, look, you can cancel it on the website. I was like, I don't even know what's going on right now. He goes, put your email down for the receipt. I was like, all right. And I just put my wife's email address down. Guess who's going to put a stop to this real fast? She'll have that tree cut down tomorrow. I called her, because I have to call her when I sign us up for stuff. And she answered the phone, just goes, I'm on it, hung up. She runs everything. She does stuff, doesn't tell. We got a new roof, and I did not know that. A whole new roof. I found out from my neighbors. They were like, how's that new roof going? I go, I don't know what you're talking about. And they go, you didn't know you got a new roof? I go, no, I did not. And then I had to go get her. You gotta go talk to them about that new roof you didn't tell me about. I look like an idiot out there. I'm not smart at all. I'm smart enough to like answer my 6-year-old's questions. He's like, why is the sun hot? I'm like, 'cause it's on fire. That's a stupid question. And I tell her that, all right? Because I know that she'll be smarter than me next year and then just for the rest of her life. So I am really sticking it to her while I can. I know nothing about like adult stuff that you're supposed to know about. Global warming, that's one that everybody yells at you about. And they're like, you better do something. I'm like, I'm so tired of it. Let's do it. I'm like, I barely made it out of high school. I don't really know how rain works. So why don't you let me figure that out, and then I'll do global warming, you know? But I've seen it rain without clouds. Where's that water coming from? So I'm pretty swamped with this rain stuff right now, but once I get to the bottom of that, I'm gonna do global warming, and I've got some pretty good ideas, you know? Thank you, everybody. It is, it's exciting to be here. Mainly, I'm quitting comedy soon, so I don't want you guys to worry about it. I'll get out. I mean, I can't get out yet, because for one, it's pretty tough to quit something no one knows you do. So, there's that hurdle. There's actually no one even to quit to. Even if I wanted to quit, no one cares that I'm doing this. Like, I don't have a boss. I can't just call Cosby and be like, look, I'm out, all right? Here's why I do it. My dad is an entertainer as well. He's a magician, still is a magician, but just like he started as a clown. Like I don't want to come up here and come off like I come from some rich magic family and I'm better than you guys. All right, he paid his dues, his clown dues. It's weird when your dad's a clown though. It's weird every day. It made me not like clowns, you know, like because have you ever been yelled at by a clown? I have. Yeah. Do you know how confusing that is to get screamed at by a guy who's got a smile painted on his face? You're like, is this good? It's not good. He was a clown until I was about 12 years old. And from experience, I can tell you that's about as long as you want your dad to be a clown. Like when you're 6 and 7, there's some perks. But like when you're 12 and 13, kids at school are like, is he still doing that? You're like, you know what, guys, just off and on, all right? He is almost full-time magic. So let's take it easy, maybe. The fun thing, though, about being a comedian, I like hanging out with my friends. I got a buddy of mine, his name's Luis Gomez, and me and Luis went to McDonald's to eat recently, and we ordered our food, and then we take our food and we sit down at our table. And then Luis went to the bathroom, so he left me alone with his food. So I was like, I'm gonna play a prank on him, you know? So I grabbed his hamburger, I unwrapped it, I took a bite out of it, then I wrapped it back up, I put it back down on his tray. So that's my big prank. Like when he comes back and opens his burger, I'll just be like, dude, did they eat your burger before they gave it to you? That's crazy, right? Is that crazy? It's a ridiculous prank. It's dumb. It's harmless. It should never leave the table. What should happen is Louis should just come back. He should open his burger, and his first reaction should be to look at his best friend he's sitting with, who, by the way, also dabbles in comedy. And just be like, hey, I just wanted to run this by you before I unexpectedly go freak out on this entire McDonald's. That's what I thought would go down. Just a quick, hey, I wanted to see if you touched my food the only time it was out of my sight before I try to fight a group of people that are going to be pretty confused on why they're fighting. But instead, that was the day I learned I'm friends with a lunatic. And a guy comfortable fighting McDonald's employees because he opened his burger and he could not have ignored me quicker. Like, didn't even kind of looked at him so, he looked like he expected them to do it, like it's happened before. And he's like, again with this? He starts screaming at all. He's like, someone ate my burger? How about I'll fight all of you till I find out who ate my burger? So he gets up, he starts walking towards them. So now I gotta jump in. I can't believe it's working. Like, we have gotten so much farther than I thought we could ever get. I grabbed him. I was like, Louis, I ate your burger. I ate it, dude. That's insane that you didn't look at me. That's insane. So I get him to sit down, but it's already weird. Like, everybody's like looking at us. It takes like 10 minutes for people to quit filming us with their phones. And that's when it hits me. I started thinking about it. I was like, Louis, I was like, you're going to get killed one day. I was like, you were about to go fight it. I was like, let's pretend that I'm not here. Let's pretend that someone did eat your burger that worked at this McDonald's. Let's pretend that really happened. You were going to go blindly fight that guy. Not even try to, like, size him up, like, see what he looks like, at least. Do you really think you could beat up a guy that is apparently pretty confident in himself? That he's making burgers, he's then eating them. He's just sending them out to whoever. You don't think that guy's probably the greatest fighter of all time? I honestly think you'd walk to the McDonald's counter and be like, hey, who ate my burger? And all the McDonald's employees would just part ways. Because they know exactly who you're talking about. And in the very back of McDonald's, you see a guy standing there cracking his neck. He's got his fist in the fryer, doesn't even know it, just sitting there, warming his hands. All right, guys. They're like, you got to keep them outside, don't look at them. It's my fault. So we had a kid late in life. We have one kid. And so we're kind of hitting all the sites. And I would be, when I get home, travel a bunch, and I get home, I'd want us to all sleep in the bed together. And I've kind of built up a habit now, and it's happening. So it's tough, though, because kids don't know how to sleep. I mean, she makes king bed feel like a twin. I mean, I'm on the edge. When I sleep alone in a hotel, I have to sleep with my head on the nightstand. It's the only way I know how to go to bed. She gets sized upside down. If you woke up upside down tomorrow, you would go to the hospital. She's also apparently going through menopause because she's the hottest human being that's ever lived. I mean, I'm freezing at night. She just kicks all the covers off, and you're like, yeah, no, you go ahead. It's your bed. We're lucky to be in it. She's got to, at some point, you know, I don't know. She'll be 37 years old. Hey, can I get in the bed with you guys? Her kids are upstairs asleep in their bed. Her husband left a while ago. He ain't gonna put up with that. One of my favorite ones was, this was forever ago. We're going to a friend's house, and it was a 4-flight walk up. And so 4 flights. Obviously, I walk faster than Nick, and I used to wait for him, but we've just been friends too long. I can't. We're like an old married couple. I'm just gone. So where we were going, and I knew that he did not. So I leave him, and I go into my buddy's apartment. I was like, Nick doesn't know where you live. So that's fun, you know, just see what happens. About 30 minutes go by. Nick finally comes into the apartment, and I asked him, I was like, where were you? He goes, I didn't know where to go. And I go, I know. So, like, I mean, you've been gone for a long time. You know, did you go back outside? He goes, I've been in someone else's apartment all this time. He went into someone's, he was just trying handles. And the door opened, he walked in, said, I'm with Nate, and went and sat on their couch. That's how far he made it. Think about where your couch is. That's how deep he made it into their place. And he's so confident, I mean, they had to be like, I don't know, maybe we know a Nate, you know?
Well, you started this new company called the Nateland, Nateland Company. Nateland. And it's a production company. You're making family-friendly comedy specials on YouTube right now.
Yeah, right now the Showcase is on Nateland Entertainment. It's the Showcase is
Nateland?
out. Nateland Entertainment.
But then you tell us it's Nateland.
Nateland. I say Nateland.
No, you didn't.
When?
I think you said Nateland. I said Nateland, and you go Nateland. And I go, oh, was I saying it wrong?
Well, that might be my accent. That shouldn't count as me mispronouncing it. You should be able to read through and go, he doesn't even know what he's talking about. Like, that's...
No, I just didn't know if I was saying it wrong. I want to make sure I'm saying it correctly.
I don't think anything I say, you're probably said it right. I told you, I think you say our last name correct with Bargatze, and I think we say it wrong as a family. Bargatze.
For years, I've been calling you Nate Bargatze.
Yeah, and I just went with that because you were so big, it was easier just to... It's just easier to do whatever you choose. You go.
I don't want to name you, though, but your name's Nate Bargatze.
Mark Maron once called me Nick, and I was like, I'll just be Nick. Like, it's already, it was enough people that was Nick. I was like, I'll just go with whatever's out there. We went to Europe last year. Europe's very old. That's what I learned last time in Europe. Like, because you think we're old as a country, and you get there and you're like, good night. You know, how long have y'all been over here? Australia, very far away, farther than I thought. Our Earth, a little bigger than I thought it was. And I think we should have went the other way as well, but the pilot had different plans. I had jet lag there. I did not mind it because I woke up at 5:45 a.m. and I don't ever wake up that early. So it was like a new life, you know? I was like first in line at the breakfast buffet. Here's what I'll tell you. If you get up at 5:45 a.m., noon is pretty far away, though. I mean, I thought, you think you bet your life, and it's maybe 8:30. Like, 6 p.m., you're like, I don't know how people are out.
How are they doing this?
What are they doing? Why won't the sun go down? To be fair to her, though, I do not work out. So, you know, but I was probably going to start, and I needed to get all this stuff there. Do you ever get in those fights, like you'll be at home, like you and your spouse, and you guys are not talking to each other, and you're in the house together, no kids, the house is quiet, and you just stay on opposite ends, and then you pass each other in the hallway? That's like the funniest part of it, because you don't live in a mansion, you have one hallway. And you just didn't time it out right, and you just have to walk by each other like strangers. You're like, oh, excuse me, sorry, yeah, no, go ahead. She'll be watching TV, I'm like, ma'am, are you watching this? I couldn't tell, I was gonna change it if you weren't watching it. Silent treatment. The silent treatment is, it's a very common thing. Everybody knows what it is. I think women are just born knowing it. I don't think you're taught it. I don't think it's like, my mom did it and her mom. It's an instinct that's in us all, that we all just know. And here's what made me think of that. I rewatched the movie Sixth Sense. And I'm not trying to do a Sixth Sense joke. This is a 20-year-old movie. I also have to spoil it, but it's 20 years old. So if you don't know by now, I don't know what to tell you, you know? And don't be like, we're going to watch it tonight. We're going to go to Blockbuster on the way home, and so he's dead the whole time. And I don't know. I mean, if you haven't seen it, it's a pretty big part of it. But for those that have, think about when you watched it. When we all saw this movie for the first time, none of us knew he was dead. That was the biggest surprise we've ever seen in our life, you know? We just thought his wife wasn't talking to him for like a year. That made more sense to us than him possibly being dead. And I was like, when I watched it, I was like, show him dying? Yeah, that guy shoots him with a gun. That's how the movie starts. That's how obvious they're like, hey, he's dead. And we still watched it for 2 hours, just like, I know what this guy's going through, you know? This is a movie about marriage and how hard marriage is. Yeah, even if you get shot, it's your fault. The best wedding I've ever been to was my cousin's wedding. It was a real redneck affair. It was right outside Louisville, Kentucky, where my parents are from. And my cousin's name is Tuesday, which is a good start. The invitation said, Tuesday's getting married, rehearsals Friday, wedding Saturday. People were like, we gotta be there Monday for this wedding? How long is this wedding? It's a week? We get there, I'm wearing a button-down shirt, khaki pants, nothing crazy. I'm wildly overdressed. I look like I work there. Everybody else just has a football or basketball jersey on. My uncle, his daughters get married. He has his tuxedo jacket, pants, cummerbund, bow tie, no shirt. They forgot his shirt, and instead of waiting to go get it, he was like, let's do it without it, right? Like, that's... And he doesn't have a body that's like, that's cool, man. You know, he has a body that you're like, put your jacket on backwards, flip it around. Yeah. And then you see his back, and you're like, whew, all right, go back to regular way. Yeah, that's my fault. How's your back worse than your front? We go into the church, bride and groom. Looks like it's home and away. That's how many jerseys are in there. Guys are drinking beers in the church. Like, that's something I've never heard a pastor be like, guys, could we not drink alcohol in the church? And they're like, oh, didn't know this was the nice part of town. All right. The reception is next door, just at a lady's house, like in her backyard. Like, she doesn't do, she's like, and I do receptions all the time. We were her one and only reception. So we walk over. They took a horse and buggy. The horse was the oldest horse I've ever seen. I thought it was a donkey. I thought they got a deal on a donkey. And The guy was like, this horse was in the Kentucky Derby. Like, the first one that they did? Is that Secretariat's father? How old is this horse, man? You know they lay down, right? So we walked. It took them 45 minutes. They went up a driveway and back down the next driveway. They're sweating, almost divorced by the time they get there. The reception, like I said, it's in her backyard. They put plywood on the grass, like side by side, to make a dance floor. Dance just to a radio station on a boombox. Just like 104.5. You would have to stop for weather and traffic updates. There was a punch bowl that was low to the ground, like on a low table. And so I was giving it to kids. I was trying to help out. And then someone was like, that's wine. And I gave it to so many kids. I don't know anything about wine, but I don't think they tell you to pour it into a bowl. Like, that's not... No one's ever like, let's get out of that box, get in a bowl. You know, let's let it breathe a little bit. I got a couple 9-year-olds pretty loose that night. The end of the night comes, everybody's drunk, children, adults, it's across the board. A fight breaks out. We hear some of y'all fight. And I mean, you're sitting there, you got a 50-50 shot. It's not your side of the family. We get over there, it's 100% our side. It's my dad's aunt and an uncle, both rolling around on the ground. They're in their late 70s. He wanted to leave, she did not. So they thought, let's just handle it in front of everybody. He's on top of him, she punches him, he then punches her, and you're like, you can't do that, you know? So we gotta get him apart, and he starts fighting us, and he's a pretty good fighter, all right? He's punching women in public. You don't think he's handled some dudes in his lifetime? That ends the night. You know, you can't be like, all right, guys, let's calm. Let's cut the radio back on, find a good station. Tuesday is sadly divorced now. That did not work out. My dad's aunt and uncle, sadly, it did work out. They're still together. So that's our family. You know, we come, it's a pretty wild bunch. I don't mind it, because I woke up early. I woke up at 5:45 a.m., and I don't ever wake up that early. So I was like first in line at the breakfast buffet. Here's what I will tell you. When you get up at 5:45 a.m., noon is pretty far away. I mean, we'll bet your life it's noon, and it's maybe 8:30. By 6 p.m., it's like, how are people out? Why won't the sun go down? That's the next phase of my life. I'm getting up early, you know. We're getting up at 9:15, a little bit. Yeah, I've never seen my daughter go to school, but I've been close. Like, we have one dog. I would like another dog. My wife does not want another dog because it's a lot. It's a lot to have 2 dogs, because you gotta open the back door and let 2 dogs out. Then you shut it. And now they're out there. You're inside, not dealing with it. But then they want to come back, and you're like, gotta go let all these dogs back in. You're like, 1 dog, 2, look at all these dogs everywhere. Look, to be honest, I've never taken care of the 1 dog we have, but 2 would be fun. Our dog sleeps in our bed, and someone told me you're not supposed to do that because you lose dominance over the dog. And I asked him, I said, what year do you think it is? These are all doodles.
They're barely dogs. It's a person. They're people. This guy acts like it's 1980 when you kept the dog outside all year. Those you needed dominance over. You had a wolf in the backyard. Friends come over, you want to go outside? I wouldn't. We take our trash out one of the days. I don't know the day, but it's a day. We do it. There is one day. I know we forgot to take it out a couple weeks ago. That stress could break up a family. All week was like, everybody eat out of your hands. We had friends over like, put your trash in your pockets, take it to your homes.
Marriage fights are great because they're all very dumb. I would say 90% of them are dumb. 10% the cops show up. But we got in a fight once over chocolate milk. We didn't talk for 24 hours. What happened is I brought chocolate milk home, and she was like, why did you bring it home? And I was like, you're supposed to drink it after you work out. And she was like, that's not true. And I was like, there's a commercial on TV. They probably looked into it more than you did. So I decided to listen to them. And she said, that's just the milk people pushing chocolate milk. And I was like, you don't even know what that statement means. You don't know if there's milk people. And I think chocolate milk's doing fine. I don't think they're sitting on barrels of it. And they're like, we got to make up a lie. We got to get rid of this chocolate milk. She went to college, all right, and I did not. But she did not study chocolate milk. When is it good and not good for you? I've done pretty good during COVID. Because I feel like you could I lost some weight during COVID. You could go two ways. If you wanted to gain weight, this is your time. I mean, everybody's fine with it. You can just do it. But I've been doing all that up until COVID. I've always lived by that rule. So during COVID, I was like, I need to stop. And my neighbor started working out in his driveway. And so he's like, let's work out in my driveway. And, you know, I make a lot of excuses during COVID. You're like, I'm just so busy. You know, I got a lot of stuff to do today. And he's just out there. So I started doing it with him, and he had a trainer. And I'm not a big fan of working out. Never done it. And I told him, I was like, I just want to do upper body stuff. And they go, all right, well, how about we just do legs every day? That's all it is legs. I think it's a huge conspiracy with trainers that you never actually do your upper body. And when you are doing it, I mean, I asked him, I go, is this upper body? He goes, yeah. I go, yeah, because I'm bending down quite a bit.
Little side note, I would like to say, I think the witch phase was the toughest phase for women to have to go through. Not to get serious, but a lot of people say voting. I disagree. I think it's witch, then voting. I think it's witch, pretty big gap, then, voting. I mean, you jaywalk back then. The whole town was like, there's a witch. You're like, here we go. Here we go. And I'll give it to them, because they could have flown away, but none of them ever did. All right, sorry. Look, just trying to get a witch joke in. It's pretty complicated. There's a lot of moving parts. You got to bring up pilgrims somehow. All right. Thank you. All right, look at us. We're doing it, all right? Welcome to the 77th Emmy Awards. You know, it's not a big one, like 75 or 80, but it's the one they gave me. It's an honor to be here tonight. I mean, I'm so excited to be here. Just all you guys are so hard to get here. I mean, and it's confusing too, because there's just like Reba McEntire. I feel like I'm at the Grammys. Kate Blanchett. I feel like I'm at the Oscars. It's crazy. Tina Fey, I thought like they should have had her host. You know, why? We're wondering like, why am I hosting? I don't know what that was, but all right, it counts as a laugh. It's I've been asked. I have not had, for my career, I'm a stand-up comedian, I've not had a ton of success in Hollywood, but let me tell you, boy, is it going good everywhere else. You might know, if you haven't heard, so we got an idea. As a host, they asked me, when you give your thank you speeches, they just said you got to keep them on time. So they wanted me to come up with a way to do that. So what I came up with is this way. Is everybody gets 45 seconds. And honestly, give your speech. I know how hard you guys have all worked to get here. I'm not trying to take anything away. 45 seconds. That's what you got. And if you want to do more than that, do it on social media later. That's more people are going to see it there anyway. So to start, though, I am going to donate $100,000 to the Girls Club of America. So, yeah. All right, remember that. Remember how fun that was, because this part is hard to say. If you stay 45 seconds, it stays at $100,000. That's, all right. I know. Every second you go on, every second you go over 45 seconds, we will deduct $1,000 away from the boys and girls. I know. Oh. That's tough. It's hard. That's tough. It's cool. What are you going to do, though? You know, can't change it. This is a game I made up, and these are the rules. So, something. Look, if you go under, we will put $1,000 a second back on for the Boys and Girls Club of America. Relax. Let's have fun, all right? By the way, we want to see, we already got started. Seth, congrats. Glad he didn't even know about this at all. But what did Seth do? Was he over, under? Stayed to 40, under? No, all right. He under. Don't go crazy, though, because, like, I am paying. So don't, like, you go over a little, some go under. Do the right thing. All right. Well, now you know the rules. Those are it. So now that everybody knows, let's keep this show going. I remember nothing from school. People talk about history to me, and I'm like, I don't know when you guys learned that. I think we skipped all of this. I almost didn't graduate high school. I had an F in science. I was taking a class called science my senior year in high school. I mean, I had an F, and my dad went and talked to the teacher and just said, look, just give him a D. He's not going to do science stuff. And the teacher agreed to it. She was that confident I wouldn't touch the science world. We took ACTs, and I got a 17 on it. And if you don't ACTs, I mean, 18 is, they're like, that's not good, man, but you made it. 17, they're like, are you enrolled in this school? Like, what are you doing? The only thing I remember is in 7th grade, we had a kid fist fight PE teacher. That stuck with me. I mean, he was too old to be in 7th grade. He drove to 7th grade. If you're a 7th grade teacher and one of the kids drives, you just know you got to fight that kid one day. Like, I mean, it's just happening. Like, my wife's always around too. I feel always like near, you know, especially about home. It's like I married a cat that I'm like, you just always on me. If I go to the bathroom, she's like, I'm gonna paint the bathroom door while you're in there. I'm like, you couldn't do it later? No, I had all the time to do it. I thought I'd wait till you went in, and that's when I was gonna start. If I eat something she doesn't approve of, it pops up, man. I mean, I'll try to sneak it. I could eat an Oreo cookie in the attic at 3 a.m., and I would bet my life a light would cut on, and she'd be like, what are you doing up here?
And if I questioned it, it was like, what are you doing up here? She's like, I'm always up here. This is when I do my attic stuff. She put Life 360 on my phone. That's so they can treat you when they're not near you. You might not even know you have it on your phone. It's worse than what the government's doing. I would rather the government track me than her. She just calls me, why are you at Krispy Kreme donuts? I'm like, look, I'm not gonna live like this, all right? If I want donuts, I'm not gonna lock my phone in a gym locker and go pay cash for donuts. Done it, but I'm not gonna do it every time. God forbid I go to a store she has a coupon for. I'll be walking into the parking lot just to get a call, buy anything, I have a coupon. I'm like, do you think I'm gonna come home and get that coupon? Is things about to happen? I'm gonna try to pay more now that you called. I don't even know if Target allows that, but I'm gonna try to negotiate up on this toothpaste. You better hope they don't round up. I'm rounding up. I hate coupons so much, and she's addicted to them. She will not let me leave. Like, I got a coupon. I'm like, I just feel so stupid. I'm buying deodorant, and I'm like, I don't have all the money, but I'm almost there. But I do have this coupon. One day, I hope to be able to pay full price. We are saving up as much as we can. And it's not easy when you travel a lot. When you fly a bunch, you just think you're going to die a bunch. I fly all the time. I was going through security recently, and this lady in front of me told the TSA agent that she was nervous about standing in like the X-ray machine. And then the TSA agent goes, "Well, it's a lot safer than that plane you're about to get on." All right, like what plane is she about to get on? Do you know something about that plane? Like, why would you say that? Have you ever got on a flight and just looked at everybody already on it? It just looks like a group that would go down in a plane crash, for some reason. You're like, I feel like I've seen y'all before. I had a pilot tell us right before we take off that he was retiring and this was his last flight. You're like, just say that when we land, dude. We'll be the same people, Like, why are you putting this much pressure on this flight? He's basically just like, either way, this is my last flight. So I don't even like to change flights because I'm afraid I would change into one that goes down. And that would be so frustrating. Just everybody's crying and you're like, you think you guys are upset? I paid $200 extra to get on this flight. Like, you guys are lucky. I was going through a small airport recently, and so they just had the metal detector, and so we go through, and a guy in front of me, it beeps, and then they asked him, they're like, "Hey, do you think do you have anything metal on you?" And he was like, "My keys." He's like, "Do you think that would do it?" And it was like, I think that would be the #1 answer on Family Feud of what would set a metal detector off. Keys? We thought he was going to be like his knee or something. He's like, keys, do you think? You're like, let's just try it without it and see what happens. When you're married, fighting is open 24 hours. Anytime. We got in a fight recently at 3 a.m. We woke up to get in this fight. And we live in Nashville, and we have a dog that freaks out when it thunders. So it was like thundering. So we have sedatives to give her because there's only so many times you can tell a dog it's just thunder before you're like, just take this. Hope this works. I'm not going to hold you through it, So I wake up, and I had asked my wife. I was like, hey, where are the sedatives at? And she was like, they're at the top of the cabinet. So I go get them. When I get them, I looked at the bottle, and the bottle said they were expired. So I had to wake her back up. And I was like, hey, these say they're expired. And she was annoyed. She was like, they're not expired. Those are new pills in an old pill bottle. And I was like, all right, I should have thought of that. That's my fault. People come to our house all the time and they get milk and they're like, is this milk expired? And I have to go, that's new milk in an old milk jug. Are you the stupidest person I've ever met in my life? How could you not figure that out? That's basically what I told her. It wasn't as fun as that, but that was the gist. And instead of just saying, you're right, that's a logical statement, she dives all in and tells me it doesn't matter because dog medicine can't even expire. Which she's never even heard a rumor about that. She doesn't know that. We don't know any dog medicine people. I know who she knows. And we don't know one dog medicine maker that's like texting her, like, let me tell you a little secret about dog medicine. We've invented medicine that can't expire. We were, me and my wife were in Nashville last summer, and we went out on the lake with some of our friends, and we were floating in the water, and there was a guy in a boat, like right next to us, and my wife was like, oh, that's my ex-boyfriend in that boat. I didn't know who he was. She didn't have to say anything at all. She was just basically like, are you having fun? Because I would like to put a stop to that and make you stare at this guy the rest of the day. So I'm staring at him, and then I look at her, and she's staring at him. I feel like she's staring at him to see what her life would be like if she didn't marry me. So I started staring at him because I was like, I'm gonna see what my life would be like if I didn't marry her, you know? We were both putting so much pressure on this guy, and we have a daughter. We have a 3-year-old daughter, and we took her to Disney World, and I made the mistake of like telling my friends. They were just like, I don't know why you're taking her, you know, just wasting money. She's not gonna remember it, and like it's exciting. Like she believes in Minnie Mouse. Like it's fun to see her get excited. Like, what should I do? Should I just learn a closet and be like, do you remember yesterday? No? Well, until you start remembering things, I'm not going to waste any of my money on you, you know? I love here in Montreal. I've been here a few times. Last time I was here, had a bit of a too much of a good time. Is that how you should say it? I was staying here at the hotel, super drunk, and locked myself out of my hotel room completely naked. And I remember getting all the way out, and then I hear the door shut, which is the most noise I've ever heard in my entire life. So I'm standing there, I'm like, what are you gonna do? And I was like on the 7th floor, and I was like, oh, there's no, I'll just jump out of that, you know? That's easier than talking to my wife about this. And I looked to the left, and there was a cleaning lady, and she's just staring at me. And I'm just like, what are you doing here? And you know why she's there? Because it's like 11 a.m. That's why she's there. That's how far in the day it was. And I looked at her just like, you know, what are you gonna do? Like, this happens to the best of us, right? And she was like, it's never happened before. And I don't even have, I don't have like a body either that's like, you're welcome. You know what I mean? Like I did her a favor. I was like, come on, it's your lucky day, all right? Take it in. I do nothing to try to lose weight. I'm just kind of riding it out, seeing here's where we're at right now. What I've started doing, though, is I tell people I weigh 300 pounds because, yeah, a pretty dumb guy. Just, I don't think it's pretty obvious. And it's, I think, I've thought about, like, time travel. Like, if I went back in time, knowing everything I know now, I don't think I would make a difference. I don't think you would even hear about it. If I went back to the 20s and I like saw some guy on like an old phone, I'd be like, hey, eventually they have phones you just carry in your pocket. And he'd be like, yeah, how do they do it? It's like, I mean, I don't know. I don't know doing it. It's like a satellite or something. And they'd be like, what's a satellite? Well, I shouldn't have even brought that up then. It's like a round metal dish or something. Like that's got to go pretty high in the air. I honestly don't think I could prove I'm from the future. I mean, they would want some proof, you know? Who's the next president? Oh boy. My dad is a magician. He's done that my entire life. He was a clown at the very beginning, just in case you're like, how do you get into something like that? He goes clown and magic. There's 2 steps. You can take them in either order. I was born, he was a clown. It was never weird to me. I thought everybody's dad was a clown.
My first memory of my life is I was 5 years old, and I remember my mom walked me out to the front yard, and my dad pulled up with this old red Mazda. He's dressed as a clown. That doesn't even faze me. That's just how he left. How else would he come home? And the Easter Bunny was in the passenger seat. That's the first thing that I remember to my life. If you want to know how you get into comedy, that's a pretty good nudge. And I remember it didn't fit, the Easter Bunny head didn't fit in the car, like he couldn't sit normal, so his head was bent to the side. And I remember he had his seatbelt on, and he's just like, and I was like, I like to think about all the other people that saw that just in the car next to him, just at a red light. You're like, I didn't even know they hung out like that. So me and my dad, he just does magic now, and he's very good at what he does. He's very funny, and we do shows together. So one time magicians have conventions where they get together, and they're buy and sell tricks, and they give a lecture, and they do this big show. So this guy was putting one together in Des Moines, Iowa, which is the birthplace of magic, something a lot of people don't know. And it's not, but it does sound like it could be. I don't know why. I said that in Des Moines, and people are like, I think I already knew that. They're like, yeah, he's right. So this guy calls me. He's like, your dad's performing this year, so we want you to come down, and we're going to make you appear out of a magic trick. I'm going to come out. I'm going to surprise my dad, surprise the audience. Everybody will go crazy, and then I'll do 5 minutes of stand-up, and that will end the show. He's like, it's going to be like a big deal. I was like, all right. I agreed to it. I fly to Des Moines. I'm hiding. I'm in my room. No one knows I'm there. The show starts, my dad's out performing, I climb in a box backstage. When my dad gets done performing, they ask him to stay and help, and they push the box out. The trick is, the guy is a very pretty lady assistant, she walks around, shows the box is empty, and then she climbs in, normally it just falls apart, and then but now it falls apart, and it's me, and I pop out. And you have to come out big. I don't know if you've ever appeared out of a magic trick, but if you do, yeah, you can't just be like, how you doing? You know, like, it's got to be a grand, like, can you believe it? And I look at my dad. His face is so surprised. He had no idea. But his eyes are just like, why would you ever do this? And I was like, this is not a good time to visit you. The audience is clapping, but they're not going that crazy. Like, the clapping starts dying down. And as I'm standing there, it's like hitting me that I was like, I don't think they know who we are. That guy told me they did, and they don't. They don't know that's my dad. They don't know I'm a comedian. This looks like the stupidest trick they've ever seen. It doesn't make sense. Like, they're like, a pretty girl goes in, then just a whatever dude pops out. That's your trick? Your trick is backwards, sir. It's backwards. And now I got to do comedy, but they don't know I'm a comedian, so I get a microphone. They're like, he's going to talk to us now? How long is this trick? And when you do comedy in front of people not expecting comedy, it does not come off as comedy. It sounds like a mean speech. They were just like, get back in the box. Where's the girl? Is she fine? Can we hear from her? Food is I still have a problem with food. I love processed food. I love it. I'm a farm factory table guy. I want the most hands involved in my food. It's coming to an end. I can feel it. I can't do it anymore. It really hurts. And I tell myself, like, I've done it. My jersey would be retired of eating fast food. I've done all the stuff. I've had Taco Bell and threw it away in my neighbor's trash so my wife didn't find out. Our family, we just eat a lot of fast food. Our family text thread, my dad texted, he was like, I found a way to get a Big Mac cheaper. And he said, you can order a double cheeseburger and ask for Big Mac sauce. So he goes, it's cheaper. And they get rid of that third bun, so it's Atkins. That's how you do it. That third bun is the one that you're like, I don't know if I need the third bun. My parents are getting older. They're not super old, but they're at the age where, you know, if they trip, they will fall to the ground. There's just an age where it happens. I mean, if I trip, my body hasn't touched the ground in 40 years. But it's just, I don't know. It's like the upper is like, we're going. And the lower is like, what? And it's just, bro. And I mean, there's no like, whoa. It's just, they don't even know what's happening. They're just looking at you, and you're like, you're not feeling any of this? And they hit the ground so hard, it's like they got thrown off a roof. Everybody hears it, they're like, what's going on? I think my parents are down. I gotta get them up. My mom's got a bruise that won't go away for 2 years. I just walk ahead of them now. I'm like a Sherpa. Just let them know the terrain we're about to hit. Got a little carpet coming up. Got a little carpet, won't go outside a little brighter than inside. And cobblestone, you ain't gonna make that. So, lay down on the carpet. I'm gonna back the car up in the building. One of the first things they had to do, car manufacturers, before crash test dummies were invented, they would use a pig in a car wreck. So they'd sit a pig, I guess upright. And this little pigs are smart. Pretty good day for this pig. If you gonna let me drive a car? Pretty fun day. He's got his elbow out. Are y'all kidding me right now? You gonna let me drive this car? I don't even know what that shows you. Pigs don't have necks. That's what I was around when I was growing up. I mean, I look at my daughter and I have more in common with a pilgrim. And pilgrims believed in witches. Went to Australia as well. Australia is very far away. I'm gonna tell you, our Earth is bigger than I thought it was. We flew 16 hours, over 500 miles an hour. Barely made it, barely. I think we went the wrong way as well.